Welcome to the Budget Lockup, where journalists pore over the budget papers so that you don't have to. The theme this year is
jobs, confidence and community.
It's taken some strong cups of coffee to get through 2020, and the Tasmanian budget hasn't been immune to the tough times. The state's hitting record levels of net debt, estimated at $1.8 billion this year, rising to $4.3 billion over the forward estimates. Lower revenues and higher costs create an operating deficit of $1.1 billion. To turn things around, the government is continuing its construction blitz, spending $5 billion on building and upgrading roads, schools, the Northern Prison, health and water infrastructure and the new TT line ferries. It says the investment will create 25,000 jobs over 4 years. Employment is also a focus in Glenorchy and Sorell, with more than $2 million for jobs hubs. There's also $2.5 million over 2 years to encourage women into male-dominated industries. The health spend is reaching almost $10 billion, up 21%. There's $9.1 million this year for elective surgeries, $140 million extra for the Tasmanian Health Service, and $25.4 million to meet extra demand for beds and staff. Education is getting $7.5 billion. That includes $39 million to employ 87 full-time equivalent teachers, plus funds for 35 quality teaching coaches. Much of the education spend is going on new buildings. There's $40 million for Brighton High, $24 million for Lagana Primary, $22 million for Sorell School, $20 million for Penguin School, and $20 million to upgrade Cosgrove High. TAFE is also getting more teachers in high-demand subjects like aged care and electrotech. There's a $22 million boost for apprentices, trainees and young workers through the extension of payroll tax rebates. Summer is just around the corner and tourists are coming back to the state. Tasmania's coronavirus border protection will be helped by $6 million for traveller assessment and border control. There's $300 million over 4 years for housing and homelessness initiatives, including $100 million on 1,000 social houses. $28 million will be spent on 6 new child and family learning centres in growth areas like East Tamar and Sorell, while more than $55 million will be spent over the forward estimates to meet demand in out-of-home care. Tasmania's Closing the Gap efforts will get $1.2 million over 4 years to improve outcomes for Aboriginal people. Climate change measures include switching the entire government fleet to electric cars by 2030, and Metro will trial zero-emissions buses. The police force will be boosted with an extra 20 positions over 4 years to help with Tasmania's COVID-19 response, while the fire service will get an extra 31 positions. The pandemic recovery efforts include another $20 million worth of support for small business.
Ready? Off they go.
The racing industry will get $42 million this year, while artists struggling to recover from the pandemic will need to share $4 million in additional funds. Despite the doom and gloom of 2020, the government says its record debt is manageable and it'll be back in the black with a modest surplus in just a couple of years. Selena Ross, ABC News.